Hi there, welcome back to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Thanks so much for clicking. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy. Do you have a really close friend? You know, somebody who you just sit back and talk and really talk about anything and everything? I have a very close friend, Gerda Felix. Hey, Gerda, how are you?
Hey, Melanie, I am well. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks so much. So today we thought we'd try something a little different on Gaining Vision. We're going to have some good old girl talk. But before we get there, Gerda, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Ooh, wow. It's always a question to tell people about ourselves. What can I tell you? Well, you know, I am a Toastmaster. I'll say that. And the reason I'm saying this is because that's how we met, you and I. I am a visionary. I am a spiritual life coach. And one thing I don't usually say to people, I am also a spiritual master teacher. Ooh.
Really official. Fancy, fancy.
Yes. So I teach self-mastery. That's what I am, you know, that I've done my certificate in, that I have learned. Also, I am an auntie, however you pronounce it, to 12. I have 12 nieces and nephews.
Oh my gosh, 12. That's a lot.
Yes.
Complete blessings.
Yes, it is.
So Gerda, you and I have some really great conversations, and that's what I want to do today. And I want to talk about men. Now, guys, let's face facts. Let's say how it is. Women always sit down and we talk about the realities, about relationships, about men, the good, the bad, the ugly. And that's what I want to do, Gerda. I want to get your thoughts. Just really, let's just have a conversation about, first of all, what do you look for in a man?
What do I look for in a man? Mm-hmm. I think since, you know, I am continuously growing, okay, maturing, what I used to look for a man and what I want to find in a man now is very different. I'm looking for someone that I can have deep conversations with, someone who is spiritually and also emotionally matured, because I need people who can express their feelings, they can talk about it, and then they can move to resolve it. Not people who's having a fit, or men who doesn't know and they just stop talking and you don't know what's going on. So I need to have someone who's spiritually, emotionally matured.
Ah, you know, and that makes so much sense. But where on earth do we find those kind of men?
Well, if you find them, let me know. No, joking aside, I believe that they do exist. Mm-hmm. I also believe that I probably need to change my environment in order for me to meet them, because right now that's not who I am meeting. Mm-hmm. And also, I believe that, you know, this is what I believe. As I continue to work on myself, I believe that he will come. Yeah. Because we do attract who we are. So that's what I believe. So there's a mix. It's a mix of, okay, where do I meet those type of people? And who am I being in the meantime?
You know, I completely understand that. And let's face facts. A lot of us in the past or currently, I've been looking for guys online, you know, and there's some things that we need to be cautious of. First of all, the ins and outs. How long do we wait to reach out to somebody after they've liked us? Or what are some red flags? Come on, spill it, Gerda. What are your experiences?
So the first question was?
Well, you know, if somebody likes you online, Like, do you jump on it right away? Is there a certain amount of time we wait to message? What are the do's and don'ts?
For me, so how long do we wait when someone like us? To me, this is the way I think. If I have to think about how long do I wait, I shouldn't do it right this way, or I shouldn't do it right away, then for me, it's a game. Because, if I like someone, I like someone. And if the person is finding fault or, is thinking, well, this woman is really very quickly, she replied, well, then that's not the right person. Because, when there's a resonance in people, when we are resonating, what's with the wait? I don't understand.
Absolutely. So if you're feeling it, you go for it.
Yes.
Okay. So what are some good signs and maybe some red flags that we need to watch out for when we're connecting online with new men?
Well, red flags. Maybe I have encountered some. Red flags is that when you first meet someone and the person is already telling you that they love you, or they're already telling you that, oh, you're the woman of my dreams and I want to marry. I mean, you don't even know me. So when you hear people say things like this, then it is a red flag, because I think it's important, and especially for me. So I'll talk for myself. I don't want nothing to rushed. Okay. I don't want people to start calling me every day, because then you don't give me time to think. And I need time to think. So when it feels too rushed for me, like suddenly, because we just met, you cannot live without me, that's a red flag.
Okay. How about, have you ever been asked for money?
Yeah. Well, this is the ultimate red flag. Yes, I have been asked for money many times, and I always wonder, what is it? Is there something written on my forehead that says I have a lot of money? But that has happened to me many, 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 many times.
Did they play at your heartstrings? Give you the big story about how somebody?
Well, the experts do not start that way. Okay? The experts don't start that way. The experts start by getting to know you a little bit, by having conversations with you, by, telling you stories about themselves, but things that are believable.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they have to move somewhere. Suddenly they went on a trip, and suddenly they forgot their wallet. Suddenly they lost their wallet somewhere. I mean, I've heard so many different things. Or they have a business that they were taking the business to another country, and and they're holding their money because they've brought so much money. So, but they don't usually tell you this in the first conversation.
Mm-hmm.
They usually build a relationship with you, so that when they start telling you this conversation, you feel like you are invested.
Yes. Okay, so let's give people the benefit of the doubt. So say we find a genuine guy who's not there to catfish, is not there to take advantage of us. What are some things that you watch for?
The first thing for me nowadays, apart from, being spiritually and emotionally matured, do I feel secured in his presence? Mm-hmm. Do I feel that he is protecting me all the time? Do I feel like when I am in his presence that I feel like I'm always on edge? What is he going to try? For me, it's really very important that when I am in the presence of a man, that I feel that he is a man, that he is protecting me. And protection is at the highest level when I am in the presence of a man. And what I mean by that is that I know you are not going to do anything to harm me. Mm-hmm. And this is now the ultimate. Because first of all, I don't have that much energy to fight any man anymore. I used to, but I don't have that energy. And I don't want to be in that energy.
Yeah, no, so no games.
No.
Are there certain traits that you're looking for in a man, Gary? Like, I know obviously you've talked about the spiritual connection, the secure, like feeling secure, the respect, obviously no lies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Genuine. That when you see, I say this all the time. There's a type of connection that you can have with someone that you don't even have to speak. Yeah. The connection is so deep that you can communicate with your mind and spirit. That's the kind of connection that I'm looking for. Because for me, I've done the work. I continue to do the work. And I know, because I've experienced this before, I know it exists. And there's a pull, between two people. When you meet someone and, this is your person, there's a pull towards that person. So when you start thinking, well, you start not feeling good about yourself and you start questioning, then there's a problem.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Now, Gerda, both you and I have been in interracial couples, marriages. Mm-hmm. What do you find is the stigma that you faced in the past? Or is there anything that you could share to enlighten people?
That is too funny. So the stigma, because I was married to a Caucasian man, mm-hmm. Parents, mom was from Germany, dad is from Canada, mm-hmm. And everything was fine. I think it's the grandparents who did not believe in interracial marriages, mm-hmm. or connections or relationships. But for me personally, it's like I never cared. Can I be that honest?
Yeah, absolutely.
I never cared what people think about who I'm dating, mm-hmm. because they're not in it.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
It's not their business. It's none of their business. And what they have problem with, it never affected my relationship with the person. Mm-hmm. It's like I hear so many different things people say about interracial dating or mm-hmm. marriages or connections or relationships. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, the only reason you're having a problem with it is because you are not in that relationship. Because the people who are in the relationship, they don't have those kind of problems.
Exactly.
So that's why I never care.
So true. It's so true.
So I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to even answer this question because truly, I don't give that much importance to what people are saying.
Yeah. And I think, it's important because I think, we as society mm-hmm. probably put more emphasis on it than the individuals in the relationship. Because I know I don't care what people think about my husband being Black and myself being white, because at the end of the day, it's about the person I'm in love with. That's exactly. That's my everything. Exactly.
Yes. And I'm, I've always been someone who doesn't put too much emphasis on that. Although, mm-hmm. When I say that, as I'm also thinking about the chapter that I'm writing, and there's so much in it, but I was never someone who put too much emphasis. Mm-hmm. I put emphasis on the spirit of the person, of who that person really is inside of himself or herself. That's what I put importance on. What's exterior, I don't really care.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. I agree. Now, we've both been married before, and now I'm married again, but what are the lessons that we should always look for that we can share and impart on my audience of things to really pay attention to when selecting the perfect mate? And I say the perfect only because the perfect for us, for that person.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Can you be yourself in that relationship? Can you feel like you don't have to try anything? You can be who you are, and you feel that you are not being judged, you are being accepted and even celebrated in that relationship. The other person accepts you as you are. And once you understand that, then you know this is a person for you. Because as long as you are in a relationship and you're trying to be someone that you're not, then this is not the relationship that you need to be in.
So true. And you know what? This is somebody you're going to spend the rest of your life with, one would hope. And if you can't be yourself, then, oh my goodness, what kind of life is that?
You're just going to die inside. That's what it is. It's absolutely. You know, I say this because it's very sad. It's a very lonely place to be when you are there. Mm-hmm. It's a very sad and you die little by little, you're dying inside. So that's why for me, it's really to be myself. So when I want to be crazy, I can be crazy with that person. Yeah. I want to be, I don't know, whatever. I can be like that with that person because his energy will match my energy and my energy will match his energy.
You know, open communication is such a key part of any relationship. How do you find it's best to communicate with your partner?
I think it depends on the person that you are with. And one thing I've learned is to know what is his love language. Mm-hmm. This is very important. And, you know, I never put that much emphasis on it before, but I think more and more it's very important. You know, it's like, do I like gifts? Yes, I do, but it's not my main love language. My main love language is words of affirmation. So if you are going to be with me, then you need to learn to learn to affirm me. That's how I am the most expensive when you are giving me words of affirmation and spending time together. I don't care about the gifts. Mm-hmm. You know, if I have to run after you, if you tell me, okay, I will call you at this time and you don't, or I will come and see you on this day and you don't. Mm-hmm. First of all, you have broken your word, which for me doesn't work. Yeah. And second of all, it's like you're not spending time with me. And then you just show up with a gift. Who cares? Mm-hmm. Keep your gift. Yeah. I don't care. But you see, again, you have to know, you have to learn what is the language of your beloved.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard because especially if it is different, and most times it is different, mm-hmm. what we feel natural doing may not be what they need. Exactly. And this is the challenge because I know for a fact, my situation, my husband is a doer, actions show, speak louder than words. And I'm more of the affectionate, verbal affirmation. So it's an adjustment, but you have to learn to balance.
Yes, absolutely. You know, even I'm pretty sure you've heard of Queen Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Even as I was watching, and I've watched many times, I binge and watch and rewatch and watch. So there's many different things that I pick up every time I watch. That's why I'm watching, because it feels like it's a discovery that is not finished yet. And one of King George's love language is words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. Because when he looked at her, there's always something that he says to her, you know, about how she is. And for me to even notice that was interesting for me, because I didn't notice it the first time. I didn't notice it the second time. It took me, I think, the third time. That's when I realized, oh, that's his love language. So yes, we need to learn, because as I mentioned before, I couldn't care less about the gift. Yeah. But if my beloved gift is one of his love language, then I need to learn to do that, because really it's a give and take.
You know, it's such valuable information. And again, Gerda, I'm just going to ask top 3 relationship tips that you always keep in mind, because I think this is really valuable.
For me, it's important that when I am with someone, that the person truly takes the time to see me. My sister and her husband, I call him my brother-in-law, they just celebrated their 25th anniversary. And we went on a trip. So all through the week, as I was watching them, what I noticed is that he takes pleasure in being with her. And he listens to her. When she's speaking, he stops and he takes the time to look at her. And I was like amazed. And she does the same thing. And I was like, after 25 years, you look at your wife this way, and you look at your husband this way. This is important, because I think we have a tendency to believe that, yes, in the beginning, we're learning about one another. After a while, we think that we already know the person. Well, no. And you have to show as much curiosity, in a new person as with someone you've been here for a long time. So that's the first thing. When you look, you have to look at me, look at the person that you are with, because this is giving them for them to know that they are important in your eyes. Learn to communicate. That's the second one. Learn to communicate. Because if you can't communicate, if when something is wrong, you close your mouth and you close your mouth for like 2-3 days, well, how am I going to understand what's going on with you? And here's the other thing. I just learned, actually, I think it was yesterday, I was listening to Simon Sinek. And he says something along this line. He said, he was explaining that he was with a girlfriend, and every time, like, he could see that there was something wrong with her, and she would always say, I'm fine. I'm fine. And he says, you're doing a disservice to the other person when you're not letting the other person in. And I thought that was very profound. Because yes, you're doing a disservice to the other person when you are not letting the other person in. Why? Because without vulnerability, there cannot be any deep friendship. So learn to communicate. And the third one is stop fighting each other. When there is a problem, fight the problem together, and don't make it yours or mine. Make it as this is what we are looking at right now. This is what is affecting both of us. How can we together find a solution that will suit both of us? That's the third part, I would say.
Wonderful, wonderful. Oh my goodness. Any other juicy girl talk? Come on, Gerda, go for it. I've been asking all the questions.
Well, the juicy part, and I don't usually say that online, but I always think, find someone that it could be explosive in the bedroom.
Oh, so true. That's it. Let's get real. Absolutely.
It's like, it's not, and I don't want people to think like, this is what the first thing I'm looking for. No. This is not it. Because for me, this is really the icing on the cake. You can have that explosion in the bedroom if anything else is not going well.
Yes.
Okay? Because it's not going to work. So once everything, you can work together, you can, fulfill or done the 3 steps or the 3 points that I just shared, make sure that you have this spark. Because this is, again, I will go back to Queen Charlotte and King George to think that he had a mental illness, okay? And yet they had 15 children. Can you imagine? Yeah. So that means that when those 2 people met, even, among everything else that would happen, they would find each other. And that's what the 2 becoming 1 is all about. So for me, yes, the juicy part is like, find somebody that you can have an explosion when you are in your bedroom.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, so true. Now, Gerda and I have a podcast together, Take Another Look podcast, and it's on Spotify and YouTube, and we go deep. We have uncomfortable conversations, don't we, Gerda?
We do. And today you've made me say things that I don't usually even say. I say only me and my friends, and now I am on Zoom.
Yes. And you know what? This is a beauty part about having a girlfriend you can talk openly with. Have a friend that you can confide in. Have these conversations, these heart to hearts. Because sometimes we need to have these conversations. We need to step out of our comfort zone and just say it how it is. And Gerda, I thank you so much for coming here and doing this here today. But I encourage my subscribers to check out Take Another Look. And of course, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit subscribe. And please don't forget to like and share. Gerda, how can people reach out to Gerda Felix?
Wow. Well, take another look.
Yeah.
That's one part. Glorious Life Unfolding, The Glorious Life Unfolding at gmail.com. That's the other way that you can reach me. You can also reach me on Facebook. I am also on Instagram under Gerda Felix, Glorious Life Unfolding. It's all together. And even on TikTok. And on TikTok,
I didn't know that.
Yes, everybody who sees me on TikTok they're surprised. You are on TikTok? You know how many of my nieces and nephews said, you are on TikTok? And yes, I'm hip like you. I'm on TikTok. So on TikTok is under a spirit called Gerda. I think that's what I, anyways, you can find me almost everywhere.
Excellent. And I encourage you guys to connect with Gerda because she has a huge impact in my life. And trust me, if you ever have the opportunity to have a conversation with her, uncomfortable or not, it is powerful. So please reach out to her. And until next time, hit the notification button and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.